All right, I want to quickly cut across to Hadi Ellis, a Middle East security expert. We also have Pinak, Ranjan Chakravarti, former Secretary, MEA, former Deputy Chief of Mission Israel, and Air Marshal Sanjeev Kapoor, retired geopolitical defense expert, as well as Lieutenant General Syed Atta Hasnain, Distinguished Center for Joint Warfare Studies. I want to quickly get our viewers up to speed with the latest news break that we are tracking right now. You just had a short while ago, we were breaking news of how a steady stream of ballistic missiles were fired towards Israel by Iran, some of them intercepted, and now you have a declaration by the IDF stating that they've taken down 2 fighter jets of Iran that were ready for takeoff. I want to cut across to Hadi Ellis, Middle East security expert. Mr. Ellis, how do you look at a very fast developing situation? Do you see this go down to a bitter end? Do you see any possibility of mediation at this juncture? How do you read the current context?
Thank you. The issue is how to neutralize Iran in their greater Middle Eastern project. The main issue is Iran's alliance with Russia and also China's Road and Belt initiative currently in Pakistan. So China wants to connect land line to Europe and Africa, and now they are at the Iranian border. They were already talking with the Iranian leadership about it. And also Israel's regional security very much threatened by the nuclear weapons that Iran wants to develop. And Iran is very publicly saying that when they have the chance, they will use it against Israel. So all these 3 issues together, when Americans analyze it, they say, okay, it's time to go for the regime change in Iran. Now, according to regime change theories, what USA is doing, it's a direct declaration of war. Now, if there are enough domestic internal factors in alliance with the project of America and Israel, that they are mature enough to take over the regime from the Ayatollahs, and they are negotiating some terms with them at this moment. So because the conventional war is not possible anymore, so Americans are not going to put troops in Iran. The only region they can use ground force is Kurdistan in Iran. Just like USA involved in Iraq, in the Kurdistan region, Iraq, and USA involved in Syria, in the Kurdistan region of Syria, now it is time for Kurdistan in Iran. Most probably, the USA is negotiating with the Kurds to put some ground force on Kurdistan in Iran, but this, in a short term, will give benefit to the Kurds in Iran. So I wrote
Mr.
an
Ellis,
article.
I'm just coming in, and I'm going to ask you. Apologies for interrupting, but I want to ask you this question again because you seem to suggest that the US is actually looking at a viable option to put boots on ground. Because right now what we are seeing is only, through the air power trying to effect change, and then through documentary and comments trying to ask people, putting the onus on the streets to rise up against what some would feel is an authoritarian government, though there have been mourning in Iran as well. So you're suggesting that the US is actually looking to put boots on ground?
Yes, they have to.
Mr. Ellis, do they have to, or do you think that is, as per you, the next plausible option?
There is too much background noise.
Okay, I'm going to try and connect that, and we're going to come back and let's connect with Mr. Hadi Ellis, where he's getting a lot of background noise. We're going to try and connect that, sir, because it's a very important and a very sensitive and a crucial point that you're making. Is the US actually looking to put boots on ground? Because right now it's only through the might of air power they're trying to effect a regime change, where you've had the president of America, Mr. Donald Trump, come out and say the onus is now on the street, rise up against the regime. Having said that, even in Iran, there have been, it's split. While there were celebrations that were reported in parts of Iran, there has also been deep mourning and criticism, much like across the world. I want to bring in, while we try and connect to Mr. Ellis again, Pinak Ranjan Chakravarti, former Secretary, MEA. And Mr. Chakravarti, it's a cautionary trail for the world there, while some, of course, celebrate the taking down of an oppressive regime. Well, if there is, in fact, a regime change, or at least, a leader here. And on the other hand, a cautionary tale which many say that how in the belligerent manner a head of state has been assassinated. It's a tightrope walk for India. Allies might be, where Iran is concerned, Russia and China, they've both come out with very strong statements. But India might not be an ally of Iran, but is a friend of Iran.
Indeed. We have a regional sort of arrangements with Iran through the North-South corridor via Chabahar. Yes, India is obviously going to be quite concerned, and I think the Ministry of External Affairs has already expressed the view, and our foreign minister has been talking to the foreign ministers of these countries and urging restraint and going back to the table. So this is of course was expected, but there are many issues here now. I mean, the talks were proceeding, and suddenly this attack came, where there was no disclosure that the talks had been deadlocked. But then I think the talks were probably were leading Iran up the garden path, and probably made them also a little less careful, because otherwise, why would so many senior people collect in one building, and they knew that they were there, and they bombed it and killed the leader. So all these questions will arise, whether this deception took place. And deception, by the way, is a natural tool of warfare when you are planning something against adversary. So I think these are all factors, but other factors being that, will it expand further? One issue that has arisen is, why is Iran attacking the civilian areas of the GCC countries? Iran had said it would attack the military bases of the US, which are military targets and probably legitimate targets. Mm-hmm. But why the civilian areas? I think Iran is seeking to build pressure on the US through the GCC countries, who are saying, look, it's not our war. Why are we being targeted? That's what I think some of the leaders have said. And they are going to have a meeting of the GCC countries. And I think you will soon see a statement urging USA to do something to stop the war, because they are being, okay, they are becoming collateral damage. The other last factor I want to just bring in here and for discussion is that, don't forget that Venezuela and Iran are both very large producers of oil. Now, the question is the US also trying to take over rather limit the energy production and limit the access to energy by various countries, including India, but I think primarily China, because China buys a lot of oil from Iran as well. So these are some of the things that many people are thinking of.
But yeah, you're right there. But Mr. Chakravarti, I would think the only point of commonality between Venezuela and Iran, other than the fact that you've had America intervene in both countries, is oil, and nothing really else similar to the manner in which the countries function. And we're going to come right back to you, because you are right that some of the Gulf countries that have been attacked, civilian residential areas, all would be a pressure point, especially on America, to take a step back, along with the economics of this war, viewers, because the Strait of Hormuz, which is the channel in which 80% of the world's oil actually goes through, has been shut since yesterday. We're going to come right back to our panelists to discuss the possible fallout on what really the operation that a joint operation of Israel and America which was started on the grounds of trying to effect a regime change. Well, that really quite hasn't happened, because while the assassination of Khamenei has happened, there is a multifaceted regime where you already have somebody who has taken his place. So not as easy to do that without really boots on ground and putting the onus on the people to try and effect a change, a regime change if they want.